Okay, sorry. Like I said, during the open day that we had a few days ago, this is the second edition of the African Students Leadership Academy. The first session was very, very successful, and some of you that are participating in the second edition were also part of that first edition. And again, the resource persons that are coming back for the second edition were also part of the first edition. Like I said, it was very successful, and that's why we decided to bring it back again to be able to empower more youths from across Africa. And as we speak, we have students from Rwanda, we have students from Tanzania, we have from Kenya, we have from South Africa, we have from across, even Ethiopia, across Africa, that have signed up to participate in this second edition of the African Students Leadership Academy. The reason is because leadership is so important to us. Our mandate is to raise a new generation of leaders and entrepreneurs for Africa. And to do that, we decided to come down to the grassroots, to the level where we have young people that are growing, that are preparing for the future. So we think that if we can equip them with the basic leadership skills that they need, they are going to do better when they grow up into adulthood, and when they leave school to begin their careers. So that is why we are bringing you this leadership academy, so that we can prepare young people, for the future. Like I always say, the bane of Africa's development is leadership. We have enormous human and natural resources, but unfortunately, we have never gotten it right with leadership. That is why we are where we are today. We have high unemployment rate. If you see young people graduating from the universities, they are roaming about on the streets looking for jobs where they do not exist anymore. A lot of criminal activities, others have not gotten it right. And this is a problem that we want to help to solve. And that is why we did it last year, we are doing it again, plus other programs that we do to raise young leaders across Africa. So this afternoon, we are going to inaugurate the second edition of the African Students Leadership Academy. Already my boss is here, Professor Remy Duyel, the keynote speaker, who is also one of our advisors and global ambassador, is also here. I'm trying to spot His Royal Majesty Ottoman Billy Aminu Usman, above Justice Chairman. I'm trying to spot that even. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Remy Chukwunyere. This is my way of welcoming you to this session that is starting this afternoon. By the way, the next to give us a brief remarks is Mr. Rajan Nazran, our international advisory board chairman. Unfortunately, he lost his dad 2 days ago, so he has he is with us in the spirit. Because of people that are that engage. Prof is next to speak from for her partner at the University of Abuja. He is the Vice Chancellor of the University of Abuja. I am sure he's attending. Okay, Prof is also attending another event, but we expect that he will be done as at now. So I will also remind him he's there. While we wait for this other people to join us. I can see everybody because the videos that you shot your videos. So I would love to know who is here and who is not here so that I know how to go about it. Then I know that one excellency we have on that also here. So yeah, so excellency, excellency, can you hear back to me so that
I
so
can't
just hold
hear
on.
you,
Let's
DG.
invite
I
your
can't hear
excellency
you.
so we can
There's a lot
quickly
of
address the
noise.
students.
There's a lot
The
of
General Majority
noise.
is not yet here. If you can hear me, please, your excellency, can you please over
It's
to
not
you.
clear. We can't hear you, DG. It's cracking from where you are. We can't hear you well.
Oh, okay. Let me please. This is an announcement. Please, if you are not called to speak, put your mic. Okay. Hold on. Please, if your mic, if you are not to speak, put your to speak. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello, can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you now.
Your excellency, can you hear me?
Very
Okay,
well.
sorry.
Very well. I
Okay,
can hear
please.
you.
Sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Let me welcome
Okay, sir.
everybody on this platform, more especially our keynote address with our Professor Remidio, who I know she's here. I can I can see her name there, and also everybody that is in this platform today. Before we start, let me equally use this opportunity on behalf of the center to condole the chairman of our advisory board, my very good friend Rajan, who just lost the father a few days ago. I want to, on behalf of the center, sympathize and condole with him and his family in London. That's why he's not here. Our prayers are with the family of Rajan. But let me thank each one of us that is here present and also who will also participate in this leadership course, meant for students and young people across Africa today. Today is a great day. Today is a wonderful day. We actually thank God that we are alive to see today. Like the DG said, the pain and the greatest problem of Africa is leadership. And leadership starts from yourself. It must not be when you are in government or when you are in charge of businesses or in your company that you know your leadership quality. The leadership quality starts from you, starts from your family, starts from where you are. If you're able to excel in your businesses, that means you're a good leader in your different businesses. If you're able to excel in your classroom as a class prefect or class manager, that means you are a good leader in that vicinity or that community where you have found yourself. So today, I'm happy that Prof will be able to teach us and tell us more on how we can succeed in leadership, especially for the young ones. For me, I'm still learning. I am not a prof, but I'm also into leadership. But today we are going to hear from the woman herself who has excelled in banking and leadership herself. And everybody eye and ear will be glued to this platform to listen from her. The chairman of the board of trustees, His Royal Highness Amy of Das, who I believe will also be here. He's also going to talk to us to tell us his own how we can also grow our young people to take over and to be leaders in their different fields. More especially those of them that are coming up and those of them who have businesses and who want to grow their businesses and those who want to be in politics and grow in politics. But for me, I'm here to listen. We have professors who will teach us today. And then for me, I have my pen, I have my paper. I'm ready to jot out every other thing that is going to be discussed here today. I welcome you all to this leadership meeting as we put our papers and pen down to write. May God bless us, and at the end of this day, we know that we have achieved a lot from this our leadership discussion today. Thank you and welcome to this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. That's an amazing presidential speech as usual. By the way, that's our president. If you are just joining us, that's the founder and the president of the Ugwumba Center for Leadership Development in Africa, His Excellency Ugwumba Uchenwosu. I'm sure you can hear me very well. I don't know who is dropping that comment. saying we can't hear you well. Can you hear me very well now? Morenike, can you hear me very well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, I don't know if Prof has joined. I don't know if His Excellency, His Royal Majesty has joined. But let's quickly go to the keynote session, keynote paper presentation, because Prof is also waiting to finish so that she can go to school. She's a professor in Bowen State University in US. And like we earlier announced, she is our pride, and one of our global ambassadors and advisors. We don't joke with her. For her to sacrifice this 1 hour is an evidence of her commitment to the growth and development of Africa. It's not easy. Where she is about 8 a.m. and but she decided to make this sacrifice for the people of Africa before going to school. So, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't need so much. I don't need to introduce her because everywhere on the internet, everywhere on the internet, meet yourself, meet yourself. Please meet. Hello, can you meet yourself? Meet yourself, please. Okay, so like I said, Professor Remy Duyel is a former Vice President, Bank of America, and she is, she has over 20 years impacted on the lives of so many people, so many organizations. And that is why we decided to bring her today to speak to you about you as the future of Africa. I'm sure you know you are the future of Africa. So that is why we have brought a professor and someone who has so much experience to come and reiterate this fact that you are the future of Africa. So, Professor Remy Duyel, please, I want to invite you to take over the stage. Thank you so much, man.
Sure. Good day to you all. I'm here, but I don't see myself on the screen. I don't know if you can see me, but I see this stage. So I'm just going to go ahead and start. I don't know if you can see me physically. I'm physically present, but I see a stage that's in the background. But either way, you can hear me. I'm there with you. Thank you so very much for our founder, our leader, who has created such a platform to continually impact the young leaders wherever they are in Africa. And of course, thank you to my sake, who is the coordinator, the engine that runs this great organization, and to my fellow advisory board members. I salute each and every one of you in absentia and presently. It's always a privilege for me personally, anytime I am called to engage with the young minds, because I know you all own the world, you own the now, and you own the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to stand before you, the great, bright minds that will shape the future of our beloved continent. I heard earlier we were saying we have people from Uganda, from Rwanda, from various places. Thankfully, technology has made it very possible for us to hear each other and to be able to do accordingly. Today, I want to talk to you about a vision where you, each and every one of you, the youth, are not just the leaders of tomorrow, but the architects of today. I know some of us might end up being an architect by profession. There's some things that you create before that building comes. So that's who you are. So you're not just the future leader. You are the architect. You're doing the narratives of what the future would hold. So every time I think of that, that is so exciting for me, because I see each and every one of you and the greatness that you carry each and everywhere you're represented. With 70% of sub-Saharan African population under the age of 30, that's a big deal. We have a youthful population. That means we have young minds, we have able-bodied male and female, we have creative leaders. You are not merely the tomorrow, you are the now. You are the leaders of tomorrow, you are the now. You are the catalyst of change today. Each one of you carries within you that spark of greatness that ignites change, that spark that drives the continent to new heights of prosperity and posterity. Consider the legacy of Nelson Mandela. Some of us probably would have heard of Nelson Mandela, who was a leader that we all are very fond of, whose perseverance and dedication to justice dismantled the chains of apartheid and forged a path of reconciliation for South Africa. And we can name so many names. Think, think, think of Haile Selassie, who championed the cause of African unity and laid the groundwork for the Africa that we have now becoming African Union. These are leaders they were once young leaders. Trust me, they were young. Nobody just becomes an old leader. It starts with your youthfulness, filled with passion, filled with determination to say, you know what? We see a wrong in this. We can do better. We are not just going to be about talk. We're going to activate it. And that is why places like the Ugwumba Leadership Academy and the Ugwumba Leadership Center for Excellence has a lot to do with the narratives of Africa. We need many, many more settings where the leaders are intentional. That's the key word, intentionality, in being able to pay it forward so that each and every one of you can birth your greatness. Today, we stand on their shoulders, the ones I've mentioned, and many more that you can think in your space. And we must continue their work. And we must create our own narratives. In addition to continuing what works, we are going to create our own narratives. With technology being our best friend now for old and young, you better be technologically inclined or you'll be left behind. That is an added advantage for each and every one of you. And as we look to the future, remember that it is not just about the positions you will hold, but the impact you will bring to the world. And when we say positions, how many presidents can we have? One per country. You know, we have 54 African nations. So does it mean only 54 people will be leaders and make excellent decisions to impact? No. Each and every one of us are as powerful as the presidency, because we are the ones, our initiative, our thoughts, our actions, our network, our vision that we live every day that we want to see changes is what's going to drive any leader. Try to lead and not have followers. Try to lead and not let people catch into your vision. That's just looking back and seeing that you're taking a walk by yourself. But I know for those who are on this call and who would listen to this later, you know the future is in your hands. Prayerfully and physically, you can attain the future that you have created beautifully in your minds. So as you step out from the academy, step out with the courage to dream, the will to work, and the heart to connect. Step out as the future of Africa, for indeed, you are the future. We all are the future. We are all the ones who can do the narratives. The narratives is very important. And each one of you carries within you that spark, that ability to do, the can-do spirit. And you're asking me, what is she talking about? How can she say I carry the spark when I don't know when my next meal will come, when I don't know how I'm going to connect to the internet to even be with the world? It's okay. You are in the right space. Your network is going to determine your net worth. All of you present under the sound of my voice now and later, you would know that you have a very strong network in this Ugwumba Center. This is a network that's second to none, that is very intentional about exposing that experiential learning that you need to ensure that the voices, the narratives you hear are not just local, they're also global. As we know, the world is a global village, a click of a button. I'm speaking to each and every one of you in various African nations, in various parts of the world, because I know some of our advisory board members are from different countries also. So that is what we want to strive to make you all do. As young leaders, we will continue to provide structures. We will continue to provide platforms that will help you to engage with one another so that you can be able to understand what you all are thinking about and your thought process to solutions, which we hope that your thought process will be solutions driven. Yes, we can point fingers and say, this person didn't do this, the leaders failed us. I get it. I agree with you wholeheartedly. But what are we going to do about that? And that's what Ugwumba Center is doing. What they are doing is to say, this is what we're going to do about these narratives of what the leaders have done or haven't done. We cannot keep pointing fingers. We have to ensure that our youth are poured into, that they know they are the future of Africa. They are the architect of that Africa. If a nation, if a continent has 70% of their population as youth, go figure. I don't know of any nation, any continent that has that. That means our future is bright. That means that future is great. That means that you and your fellow students or friends need to think about positive engagement. You do not want to use your youthful exuberance, your energy. You do not want to use it in negativity. You don't want to be a victim. You want to be a victor. You do not want anybody to use you, whether political people or professional people. You do not want to be used. You refuse to do that. I know you might have needs. It means you carry your integrity at all times. You build your brand because people are watching you. Your www. You are on that world wide web. Every single day you wake up and you shake it off and you step out. That's you building a brand. I was speaking to a group of young leaders yesterday. I told them, your brand is yourself. That brand self is developed through you. So for you to be that brand who will help us in Africa to have those narratives that the world is waiting for. Guess what? The world is waiting for Africa to rise again. And the world knows Africa will rise again. Because once upon a time, we were there. And we are getting there, thankfully to all you young people. Technology has demystified all of the impossibilities. Technology is creating a level playing field. But are we going to engage to learn those technology? The AIs are out there. Those many chat GPT, so many technology advancements are out there. Grammarly, are you leveraging these things that will position you to be a good writer, to be a good content creator? Again, in the call that we had yesterday with another group of young leaders, one of our speakers was telling us that everyone on the World Wide Web, wherever, whether it's LinkedIn, if it's Instagram, be mindful of what you present. Be mindful of what you project. There are some people who scout through those social media handles, and your brand is what you put out. So if there are some people putting their brand out against negativity, be against negativity. Whatever you are putting out there, make sure you can defend it. Do not major in defending something that is so unnecessary that you didn't have any business to get into the conversation. Now there's an opportunity to get into that company. But because you have raised your voice in matter that did not matter to you, because everybody was going with the Joneses, with the flow, you went with the flow and you spoke and you wrote something, and it was just something you wrote for less than a few seconds. But that writing stigmatizes you because now somebody blows it out of proportion. That is an example of what happened to one of the people that we had to examine yesterday. So I'm warning all of us, as much as technology is our friend, I'm saying please and please be mindful of what you put out. You are not hidden. Anything you put out is going to be a part of your story. It's going to be a part of your narrative. Trust me, there's nothing that you put out that you will not have to live with. If it's good, great. If it's bad, you spend more time trying to clean up the mess. We talked about the legacy of Haile Selassie. We talked about legacy of our great father, Nelson Mandela. These are young people when they started all their movement. And now we can't forget the women. We talk about the legacy of Wangari Maathai, Nobel Prize winner, environmentalist, and political activist. I know you can say, you know what? Female might not be popular in some areas. Since genesis of this world, women have been very relevant in so many things. They might not have been brought to the forefront. What are we going to do about it now? Some of you are women listening to me right now. Instead of waiting for somebody to create a narrative, start being that person. You already have a structure. You have a system. Mrs. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, Fela's mother, pioneering educator. These are things that didn't just happen yesterday. Many, many years before I was born, before you were born. So what story will be written about you? What stories are you going to start writing as the architect of the tomorrow? Because we are counting on you. We know you can do it. We know you have what it takes, and we are going to support you. We are not going to leave anyone behind because we believe in the greatness that each and every one of you carries. So because of the greatness you carry, we know our future is bright. And before I go to my end, because I do want to leave room for questions and for you to interact with me, if that is permitted. I don't know why I can't see anybody. I don't know if you can see me, but you can hear me. So that's good enough. Technology is beautiful when it functions the way you want it to function, and it's beautiful when it's the other way. But we're thankful that we can hear voices and talk to each other from various parts of the African nations and the world. The power of impact. It's not just about positions. It is about the impact. The impact that you individually want to make is very important that you start thinking about it. I didn't say the money you are going to spend. I didn't say the people you know. I didn't say the special place you have privilege to. None of that. You can make impact the way you are. Start. If you're afraid, it's okay. Do it afraid. Start something that you can build upon. There's nothing too little. The life you will touch could be touching it just with a few words. It could be just that smile that you need. It could be just that expression of presentation of when you see someone explaining something and you can see their passion. I wish you could see my passion through this setting. To see the passion, that makes you to know that there are people who care about you. There are people who really want your success. That's what we want at the Ugwumba Leadership Academy. Your success is our focus. Your success is all we live and breathe. You know why? Because you are designing, you are an architect to a tomorrow that we are all going to be part of. We'll leave you in the tomorrow, but at least you will be able to take that tomorrow to that next level. Communities you will uplift. It's not just going to be about you and I or your friends or the people you know. It's going to be about some community people who will benefit from your genius. Communities who will say, you know what? If Morenike can do this, if Achu can do this, if Adeyemi can do this, I can do it too. They don't have two heads. They don't. They have one head. I want to know what they are doing. Okay, they're plugged into the African Students Leadership Academy, the Ugwumba Center. Where is Ugwumba Center? What do they do? How can I be one of those people? Those are the things that we do when we build communities. It's not always just about your family members. It's about the community, because our family members are going to end up being part of a community. So we better make it our business to build the community so together we can enjoy that community. Legacy you will leave behind. Oprah Winfrey had an interview with Maya Angelou once upon a time. Some of you might have seen that online. And she asked her, what is the legacy that you would want to be remembered by? And that what is the legacy she would want to be remembered by? Oprah said, Mama Angela, I call her Mama Angela because she's an old woman. She says, the lives you touch every day. It won't just be those schools you built in South Africa, all those monies you send to people who say they need money. Have you ever had anybody that say they have enough money? There's always need for money. So that's never going to change. She said, but every life you touch daily, that's what's going to be your legacy. Some lives you just touch once. Some of you, I might never get a chance to meet you. I might never get a chance to talk to you again. You might never get the chance to see me or to talk to me again. But there will be one thing, because you're with an association like Ugwumba Center, who is determined to bring you the best of voices who care about the youth development in Africa. You will always have continuum in great narratives from people who have been there, done it. I am one of you. Once upon a time, a teenager that migrated to the United States of America in quest of education over 4 decades ago. We're still here, making impact. Now technology even makes it easier. Finished school, went to start work in corporate America with an MBA as a cashier. So part of what you want to take away from this is your ability to know that small beginnings are okay. Don't feel too important for yourself. The knowledge that God wants you to learn is important. That might mean going from the basics. You know why it's important to learn the basics? Because when you are at the top, one day, those who are on the top might rock and want to come down. But if you've built upwards, when you're coming down, it would not be a Humpty Dumpty fall. It will be a rocking. Everybody's going to step up and trying to see what you can do. That's a message. That's something my mother always said when I was growing up. And it stuck to me like super glue. And every day I remember that the lives you're touching, you don't know when you're going to need them again. You don't know when they're going to need you. But be kind. Do to others what you would like to be done to yourself. Step out with courage to dream. Dreaming is allowed. It's free to dream. But step out with courage. The dream might be bigger than you. That means it's a good dream. No dream should end with you and start with you. No. A dream that's bigger than you will have co-laborers that will make it bigger and brighter. Step out with will to work. W-O-R-K. I didn't say walking. You're going to put some work in, guys. It takes work. Whether you're looking for a job, whether you have a job, work is part of life. And when you work it, God will bless your handwork. The work of your hands is what will be blessed, not who you know, not what you know, the work of your hand. What do you have in your hands? Did some of you volunteer to be part of this, even to set up, to make sure that you make calls to some of the people that were supposed to come? Those are work that are important because you went beyond and above to say, you know what, come take a listen, come be part of what I'm part of, because there's enough to go around. Don't be selfish. Always share the wealth. Step out with a heart to connect. Don't just go aimlessly when you're doing anything. Go with precision to connect. It could be with 1, 2, 3 people. Make sure you are determined to make a connection that you can follow up, that you can build upon. That will be very crucial. When you are in a setting, it's okay. You might be the only one. And I know when it's a physical setting, sometimes it's a lot easier. There are some people who already have listened and they will make effort to connect with whoever they want to connect with. When they continue to persist, that will happen because it might not happen right away. But when it happens, you just added someone to your corner. But if you never made an attempt and you already decided in your mind that, oh, I can't do, I'm not up to that person, I can't talk to them. Who says? Who says you can't? They're human beings. They don't have two heads. They have one head, two ears. So you don't immediately alienate yourself from something. You go ahead and you go all out, put in the work. That work would work for you. It will profit you. And as I close, I repeat emphatically, you are the future of our Africa. You are the architect. You are the narrators. You are the story builders of the new Africa we are all expectant, because it's going to take each and every one of us under the sound of my voice and who are young to create that narrative. And technology is enhancing such. So align with what tools you need to do that. Believe in yourself because you are bigger than that. Be together. Work in unison with fellow young leaders. Collaborate. Shape the destiny of our continent, because you can, you will, and we will. Thank you so very much for this opportunity today. I thank you and I say congratulations to everyone present, and we wish you nothing but great success through this academy and many other things that Ugwumba Leadership Center does. So thank you again. Blessings.
Ah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Please, I don't know. I wish this is a physical meeting. I would have asked you to clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. This is amazing. Oh, fantastic. Some people are helping me to do that. Ah, Prof, this is wonderful. You have done it again, as usual. We are not expecting anything less than what we used to get. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amazing session, amazing talk. You know, this is enough to raise the giants of Africa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know who has a question. Is it Atu Sylvester? You have a question? You have a question? Please unmute yourself and speak if you have a question. Only when you have a question. Ibrahim, you have a question?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Ibrahim, go ahead. Ibrahim, go ahead.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I would like to appreciate Professor on this wonderful presentation that she's done to us. Our appreciation. She has done a lot. We learn a lot. I learned a lot in this presentation. So me, I don't have any question. I will just appreciate what she's done for us. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, very good. Ibrahim, before I let you go, where did you join from? Where are you? Where did you join us from?
My name is Ibrahim Sahabi. I joined from Kano State, Nigeria.
Wow.
Oh, fantastic. Good to know that. Thank you so much,
Right.
Ibrahim. Now, Atu Sylvester.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, for allowing me to. First of all, I would like to appreciate Professor Remy for this wonderful section. I've really learned a lot, at least, that will build me to be a potential leader. Okay, but I just have a little question, though not question. I've already attended to it partly, but I would need a better clarification on that. She talked about leadership, intelligence, passion, determination, and commitment during her section. So I'd like to ask this question: what about a potential or an aspiring leader that has these qualities of passion, determination, and commitment, but maybe on contrary is being limited due to financial or maybe any other setback? What can be prescribed to such potential leaders? A kind of a means to encourage the leader to start to continue pushing. Then also, she talked about negativity, that we should be mindful of what we post online, something like that. So I want to ask a situation where the mistake has been made already. Is there a remedy to such situation? Thank you.
Sure. Can I go ahead?
Thank
Am I safe to answer?
Go
Okay.
ahead, ma. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start with the last question first. If a mistake is already made, there's really nothing you can do about it. You would just need to be able to explain it, and hopefully don't make that mistake again. And it's a good question you asked about what are you going to do about it. There's an energy level that you have to exact to redeem yourself. That's energy level that you can use for something more productive. Unfortunately, if a mistake is already made, you just have to figure how to amend it and not do it again. And people will remember, but they will have to just forgive you and you move on. And then you'll be more conscious because every opportunity to be better will be created from a mistake made. Do you get it? Because if something is deemed as a mistake now, you probably didn't go outright to say, "Oh, I'm going out to make a mistake." If it's an honest situation that got you into a predicament whereby it's a problem, you just explain it and explain it genuinely, and keep moving on to do other things. Eventually, with time, people would that will fizzle away. Just keep outshining and doing other things to put you in the limelight of positivity. That's number one. Then the second question about lack of resources in trying to achieve your dream, in trying to zero in on your leadership power and all that. There's never going to be enough resources to build and make us be who God has created us to be. Never. But do it afraid. Start with what you have now. And what you have now, be consistent in doing what you have. And I'll do an example. Growing up in corporate America, Nigerian, accent, female, Black, I was always an underdog, even though I had my degree, I had everything. I felt the way you sounded now, once upon a time, that how do I let people know that I carry greatness in me? Because for me, I knew it. But it's not just good enough for you to know it. You got to show it. And sometimes the hardest is to show it to people who don't give a hoot, who you know they don't even want to pay attention. But guess what? They're paying attention. That's why you go to your inner man and begin to do good because it's the right thing to do. The good that you do, make it strategic so that it's enhancing and building your brand, BRAND. So if somebody negates what you're doing and they're doing it maliciously, we all have conscience, guys. Their conscience will prick them. One day, you won't have to worry about it. You keep doing you, keep building and doing the little bit you can do. Volunteer as much as you can. I did a lot of volunteerism. When people have golf course, golf training, I'm there. I didn't even have a golf club then. I didn't even know how to golf. I'll help them set the table. Make yourself a servant leader, genuinely, so that people will trust you being in a space. Because all I needed was to be in a space of relevance. So those who are relevant can acknowledge with me, but I don't go there as a vice president of a bank because they didn't invite me on that merit. I just wanted to be in the room. But when I'm now in the room serving, there's going to be engagement that will make them see that, oh, she's better than this. And that's what you do. And gradually aligning with the likes of Mr. Remy and people that you can relate to and let them know, how can you serve your way to greatness? What can you do to volunteer? Because as you volunteer, you're going to learn and people are going to look out for you, because I look out for those mentees who I know have servant leadership. There are some mentees who are very into themselves. They want to get it all right first before they breathe and let others. Those kind of people will be secondary in my priority list of hookup. So those are my comments. I hope that that helps a little bit. If it doesn't, you can let me know and I can delve down more into it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Prof. Let me invite Idris Kamara to speak. If you have your, you ask your question, please, Idris Kamara. Idris, are you there? Hello, Idris Kamara, are you there? Unmute yourself and speak, please. Hello, Idris. Oh. Okay. Hello, Idris. Okay, so is there any other person that has a question? Idris, you're muted. Please, can you mute yourself? Hello, Idris.
Yeah, I wanted to say, hello, are you getting me clear?
Okay. Go ahead, you're clear, please.
Okay, I wanted to speak a bit about leadership, according to my own understanding about leadership. And actually, I wanted to ask a question to Professor. Because like actually most of the time they say the space is there for you to lead. Yes, actually I know that leadership is not just about having a title, or it's not just about having a position that I'm a president or I'm a coordinator, I'm a minister or so. Leadership is not about that. But leadership is about bringing people together, you having that kind of esteem, you having that manners in you in bringing people together. You have a particular aim, you go towards it, and find solution towards it and work to it. That is what I understand by leadership. So now, Professor was trying to talk about leadership is not just about position, and it's not just about you having leadership. Your family should not be your focus, okay? But like, if actually we want Africa to be more brighter in the next 10 years or in the next 5 years, we need to give space to young people. You understand what I'm saying? We need to give space to young people, most especially, let me say, youth between the age of 25 to 30. Some of these young people, they have this charisma in them, they have this energy in them in leading, and they know what is good for the people. But like, let's say we have a country who, that are demanding that you should not aspire for president if you're not 45 years and above. So is there a space for leadership for that particular nation or for that particular country? No. So my question here is that, is there a space for that when most countries, young people have been restricted to apply for some certain position due to their age, or sometimes even because of disability or so? So that is my question.
I think that question I will let Mr. Remy and those who understand the political landscape in Africa answer that. But again, I still believe that there's so many things we can do without necessarily going for those positions that they might delineate as maybe this is what the age should be. What I would suggest is maybe finding a focus group to ask why the ages were determined, to have an understanding, because sometimes it takes communication, not to kind of think, oh, it's never going to be possible. Have a communication dialogue to see why, how did those numbers got arrived at. I'm sure they didn't just pull it from the thin air. That would just be my input on that, but I'll defer to those who know the political landscape in Africa to respond better.
Okay. Yes, Nancy, I don't know if you're there to speak on that, or do I take a shot on that? Okay. Okay, now let me respond, just like Prof has said. First of all, in Nigeria, I'm speaking for Nigeria, the minimum age required for you to contest for the presidency is 35. I think it's 35. The latest review of that constitutional provision is 35 years. And just like we said, we are targeting young people with this program to be able to prepare you for the future. For the future. Now, it is not true. I mean, it is not true that when you are in primary school, in secondary school, that you're ready for political leadership. It is not true. It is not true. So, and that is why age comes in. You know, by the time you leave secondary school and go to the university, if you calculate it, you know that you should be about 20 something years, 22 or 23 if you are so early. And maybe by the time you begin to work or do business, you get to 30, 35. So from 35, just like I said, you can vie for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I know that the same may apply to other African countries. And just last week or last 2 weeks, we welcomed the new president of, what is that again? Senegal, that is just 44 years. You know, so there's an improvement in the system. There's also a change of orientation. Here in Nigeria, last time, there was a movement called Not Too Young to Run, Not Too Young to Run. You know, the campaigners or the organizers of that campaign, they tried to push this message that young people have the capacity to rule their states or the country, you know, and by the grace of God, the age limit was reduced to 35 from 40 to 35. So if you're 35 years of age in Nigeria, you are qualified to run for the top job or the top position in Nigeria. Your Excellency, I don't know if you have something to say. If you have, let's hear from you. You are a successful politician in Nigeria. So let's hear from the angle of, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you. I think I want to sincerely thank Prof for this should I say is unpaid unpaid lecture that we got without paying any cover. Prof, I want to thank you. You are being always here for us whenever we need you. What it shows is that you are committed to seeing young people in Africa be something in life. And today, again, you have demonstrated your ability to train and also to inculcate in us the spirit of leadership. Yes, leadership in Africa. I'll put my DJ again, like he said when he was making his opening speech, is the greatest problem we have in Africa, where people don't actually lead. Instead, they rule. Rulership is what we experience here, not leadership, because leadership is you sacrifice yourself in order to lead people that are following you. But of recent, we have seen that the younger ones are taking up the position of leadership, because in Africa, sometimes we leave leadership for the older ones, believing that the older ones are there to rule us forever. But I think time has come when we should be able to know that leadership does not stop at a certain age. Even a boy of 5 years can be a leader in his own classroom in a kindergarten or primary or secondary school. It's something that starts from self to build up and then gets to the community where you belong. So for the young ones who want to aspire to be leaders in their different fields, I think with what we have heard from Prof, he has shown that you are a leader in your own self. You have to build it, inculcating yourself before you can export it outside. I want to thank everybody that have been here today. This is just the second edition of our leadership series among the high institutions. We also pray that as time goes on, we'll go ahead with these leadership courses that we started. Thank you for being part of this. I hope that most of us that came here today, I saw Idrissa who called from Kano. I'm happy there are people that come from different parts of the world that are here. This is free, and I'm happy that people made good use of this lecture today. And to DG, I want to thank you. You have been going up and down to make sure that we had a successful meeting today. You are who you are, and you have done very well with this center. For you, Prof, once more again, thank you very, 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 very much. You're always here for us whenever we call you. For those of you listening, she's a professor and she's a lecturer, and she had to give out her time in order to be here, free. What else can she give? Free without paying dime. Some professors will ask for thousands of pounds and dollars to give their time for this, but she is always doing it free for us in Africa. Prof, thank you and God bless you for this gesture.